Apple's XS Max was released at 12 AM on the 21st of September 2018. It was met with critical success as fans flocked to Apple stores all across the world to pick up their new iPhone. With a starting price of $1,600, onlookers were skeptical of ditching their old phones for such a steep price, and being a part of the new generation of iPhones Apple was pushing. The new generation of 10 models included the iPhone X, XS Max, and the budget-friendly XR. The XS Max is the model I have here. Its specs featured the operating system of iOS 12, a screen size of 6.5 inches, a resolution of 1242 by 2688, the Apple A12 Bionic chip as the CPU, 4GB of RAM, and the storage options that go from 64GB all the way to 512. With these specs, you would expect the new iPhone line to be quite cheap, since they aren't that groundbreaking compared to what Samsung and LG are doing, but yet Apple is still selling these phones from $1,000 to $2,000. Now, the XR would be an exception to this price, since it was sold at about $800, but yet for its specs, that is still crazy expensive. The phone's exterior featured a glass back with a metal outer case that went around the phone, a 6.5-inch bezel-less screen which Apple continued to use. At the front, you had a 7-megapixel front-facing camera, and two 12-megapixel cameras on the back which gave the iPhone XS Max's notorious double-camera design. The phone is heavy, with it weighing around 208 grams, but it is built really solid. It is also thin, coming in at 7.7mm, which is Apple's way of saying that they don't want to repeat what happened to the iPhone 6 Plus. While the XS Max does feel a little chunky in the hand, there's no questioning the fact that you're getting a huge amount of display real estate crammed into a form factor which does a good job of keeping it usable. The steel frame around the outside and the new formulation of glass on the front and rear, which is tougher than the glass on the iPhone X, give the iPhone XS Max a supremely premium look, while its resistance to dust and water has also been enhanced. The Apple has upped the protection to IP68, enabling the iPhone XS Max to be submerged to a depth of around 2 meters for 30 minutes, without suffering any ill effects. Apple claims it's tested the protection in a number of liquids, including salt water, chlorinated water, milk, wine, and beer, although I wouldn't intentionally do this. It's worth noting that Apple's warranty, like those of all phone manufacturers, doesn't cover liquid contact damage, which means if the liquid resistance does fail on the iPhone XS Max, you won't be covered. Thanks, Apple. There's no headphone jack on the iPhone XS Max. The port is totally dead after Apple killed it off after the iPhone 6s and iPhone SE. Thankfully, the iPhone XS Max also supports wireless charging. So if you have a wireless charging pad, you can put your phone onto it and it'll start charging right away. The power/lock key is on the right side of the XS Max, and it's easy enough to hit with the thumb or forefinger. Hold the power/lock key down and you'll bring up Siri, which means turning off the iPhone XS Max requires you to hold down the power and the volume up keys until the on-screen prompt appears. Overall, Apple hasn't moved far from the design of the iPhone X with the iPhone XS Max, other than to make it a bit bigger. There is, however, a new color option for the iPhone X. Apple introduced a new gold finish for both the iPhone XS and iPhone XS Max, and it's a little richer than the subtle gold finish option for the iPhone 8 and iPhone 8 Plus. If you find the gold a bit too much, the iPhone XS Max also comes in silver and space gray. Now, is the iPhone XS Max worth it in 2020? Yes, but only for the audience it was intended for, Apple buyers. If you want to get into the Apple ecosystem, I think this phone would suit you perfectly, since the phone is fairly new and Apple still updates it completely with iOS 12. The phone is 2 years old, however, but that shouldn't affect the usability of it at all. If you're looking to get a new phone but don't really care about getting into the Apple ecosystem, then I would highly recommend other Android phones that are 10 times better and at a quarter of the cost. Well, that's it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'd like to see you all in the next one.
I held you in my arms till the light came up. Do you remember that? Do you remember that song?
Yeah, I
that
do.
song, 'cause I still sing that song. I first heard it from you. That was the first time. Remember?
I'm through with love. I'm never